everybody. This is Coach Ernie. We are on the Coach Ernie Williams podcast. Today we got a crazy special guest, Alexis Hornbuckle, in the building from the other UT. What's up?
What up? Hey, what's good, man? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. I can't wait to get into your story and share your success story. You had a long ride of success playing basketball, man. I'm ready to be inspired and ready to share your nuggets that you have accomplished and experienced, man. First and foremost, what's going on? What you been up to, real quick? Let's have everybody get us a catch up. 5 minutes.
All right. To catch up real quick, everybody knows the pandemic was crazy. I run a nonprofit girls organization, FBC Rain, out here in North Carolina. So having that coming back into play, doing the schedules, the tryouts, practices, trainings, all that got a little crazy, but it's a good crazy, right? Because we were a little restless without the sports. And then I coached at, it was called Woodlawn School. It was a private school up here in North Carolina. And most recently, if we fast forward in between that, I've been preparing for a move. I am officially going to move back to Knoxville, Tennessee to continue what I'm doing here, but on a bigger scale and with different types of partnerships and different types of community involvement. So I'm really excited for that.
I'm excited to hear more about it too. So I know you got one podcast or you got two. What's going on? Tell us about your podcast you got.
Yeah, I have two and one on the back burner. So the one on the back burner is Bucked Up with Alexis Hornbuckle. Yeah, it's tight, right? And at first I just wanted to kind of be just like, I'm getting on there, I'm just talking, interacting. And then I had a few sit downs with some close people of mine. I'm like, no, I want to go a whole different direction. So when Bucked Up returns, it will focus on, like the other side of sports that people don't see. Not the not so luxurious and fun side and all the perks, but the athletes that struggle, the athletes that, their career ended and it wasn't due to them. It might have been due to politics or the coach or the environment. So I'll have special guests from all different sports and all different locations, on that. My number one is the Collective Unfiltered every Monday night at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Roadshow.com. That's always live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So you can always check us out there. And then the Buck and 2 MC show. That is all 80 balls. So we followed there, the season, and we would do a post-game show after every single game, and just really come to it from a media perspective and also from a player perspective.
Cool. Yeah, that's totally different, I think, than what anybody's doing out there when you're covering women's basketball. That's awesome. So really quick, everybody, we are on Facebook and YouTube at Coach Ernie Williams on the channel and on Facebook page. If you have any comments or questions, put those in put them in the box so we can ask Coach what's happening. All right, take us from the top, Coach. Where did your humble beginning start as far as getting into basketball? Did you play other sports, and where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Dunbar, West Virginia. Definitely played other sports. I started playing soccer and basketball organized when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Soccer was actually my first love. I just did the basketball thing because my dad played, coached. My brother was into it. My cousins, uncles, it was almost inevitable that I was going to have a basketball in my hand.
Right.
But fell in love with the game of soccer first until about age, I'll say 8 or 9, when I realized I'm pretty good at this.
Right.
So I started putting a whole lot more time into my craft, and it was an everyday thing for me. Like literally, I was that kid with a ball in my hand. I slept with a basketball, go to school with a basketball, go to church with a basketball. Moms would make me leave it in the car, or sometimes it did not make it out the house. She wasn't really playing that.
She wasn't playing.
She wasn't playing that. So that's where I started. That's where the love grew. My dad basically asked me. He said, "Do you want to play or you want to play?" And he was basically saying, you want to have fun with this or you want to take over and be great, or at least try to be great. And I chose greatness. I chose that path. It took a lot of hours. It took a lot of focus, a lot of studying the game, learning the game, actually having and building basketball IQ to slow the game down, but play it at a fast pace.
Absolutely. They don't know nothing about that.
They don't know that. That's the old school hoop. That's the old school hoop. Yeah, they don't know nothing about that. But that's how you do it. Attention to details,
Yeah.
while also being able to maximize your strengths, your athleticism, your whatever it is that you're great at, and slowing the game down in a sense of seeing and thinking one or two plays ahead.
Right. Okay. Getting into, did you play AAU?
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume you did, but some people didn't, you know.
Yeah, West Virginia Tornadoes. We did.
Oh, y'all was messing up the whole city. Tornadoes.
Yeah, we was staring down a city, bro. We was staring down the nation, bro. We went to nationals. We ain't playing.
Wow. How did that transform you as far as a player in high school, you know, getting into recruiting and just kind of building your craft and your position?
Well, when it came to, my dad was the coach. It was his organization. We had, look at Trina.
What's up?
What up? But when it came to, you know, playing, we had people come play for us as guest athletes, like Candace Parker.
Yeah.
You know, we had Allison Bells come. We had Tasha Humphreys come and play different tournaments with us.
You said guests. You say y'all was so sweet. I had guests. Hey, I'm about to come down for the tournament. What? What kind of stuff is that?
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna meet up in Oregon. We got a tournament. Let's go. This is the squad we putting together. We trying to win it all. That's awesome. What it was. I mean, we all had our individual AAU teams as well, but when it came to actually playing on those big Nike tournaments and the Nike circuit, it was, you better come with your best. So that's what we did.
Awesome. Did you get to win a state championship in high school?
Yeah, I did. I won 4.
You won 4? Can I get half? Let me get half. We never made to the shit. We get to like the semi and get beat. Dang.
Nah, listen. I won 2 at my first school, and then I transferred back to my hometown and graduated with another 2.
Dang, that's awesome. So I know anybody out there that don't know this baller, she was a McDonald's All-American. Lex, tell us what that meant to you, and like how was that experience? And who did you play with in the McDonald's All-American game? Because I know there was some hitters.
Ooh, it was tough.
Yeah.
So once, I'm sorry guys, my puppy wants to be on podcast. When it came to getting that honor, I'm just like, this is something I've really been working for. So I was excited. I was like more than anxious to just get there and get all that experience and soak it up. I mean, I'm there. It's Candace, it's Tasha, it's Matee Ajavon, Essex Carson,
wow.
Crystal Langhorn, Laura Harper, Nikki Anasiki, Sade Wiley Gatewood.
That's crazy stuff. And that was the first. That was what 03. That's the first year.
Yeah.
And so I was in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. I know y'all was in the city. That was the first year the McDonald's All-American game. Yep.
No, it wasn't the first year. The year before.
Oh, okay.
The year before, because we were technically 04 class. So, because I remember my teammate Shauna Zoma, she had the little scoring record for that McDonald's game.
Got you.
And it wasn't nothing crazy.
Okay.
But,
cool.
It wasn't nothing crazy, but it was something that I went after, and I tied it because you can't beat me. We teammates now, like. You feel me? Okay, you can't do that.
Talk to the babies. Talk to the babies right now that playing AAU.
Mm-hmm.
They're in high school right now, maybe in middle school, but they do aspire to play top D1 at the UTs, right? Or even just get to a scholarship. What type of work does that take? What type of commitment and understanding?
Ooh. Well, number one, you use the right word, commitment. It is a huge commitment. And first and foremost, I think that all kids that are aspiring to be professional athletes or even aspiring to play at those top collegiate levels really look up the word commitment and what does it mean? Mm-hmm. Because once you commit to something, it kind of defines your character. You are obligated to hold yourself accountable to finish that commitment. So you say, I want to commit to playing basketball at a collegiate level. Well, guess what? It's going to take more than an hour a day. It's going to take more than you thinking weekends are off days. It's going to take more than you instead of going to the movie or going to a sleepover and hanging out with friends, say, nah, I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna go get in some cardio, run around my neighborhood. Mom, Dad, can you take me to this field? Can you get me in with a trainer? Can you just get me on a court? Whatever it takes. Like, if you don't have that whatever it takes mentality, you're gonna get whatever you get.
You're gonna get whatever. You're gonna get something random.
Yeah, like, it is what it is. Like, you really have to invest in yourself to a point where no is not an option. When you have an opportunity to guest play somewhere or go in a gym and it's not your practice, so what? Take those opportunities instead of going again to hop on your iPad or your Xbox or your PlayStation, or your phone. Like, go work on your craft, perfect your craft. The more hours you put in, the harder you will be to stop mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So that's what you're working towards, almost being a machine in a sense.
Yeah. Yep. That's the consistency and the commitment. So take us through recruitment. How was that emotionally for you? Did you know, like, was it in the bag? You were gunning for Tennessee. How did that come about? And, who else were you interested in as maybe your top 5 or top 3 other schools you were interested in?
When, for me,
yeah,
I hate talking about myself, but I really do. I'm like, somebody else could talk about me, I just sit there and like nod or smile or just walk away. But for the recruiting process for me, I literally had trash bags up on trash bags from every single school. I could have went to any school that I wanted, including Ivy League schools. So obviously that comes down to being more than just an athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
But I started to bleed orange in like the 6th grade, watched the documentary on Coach Summitt, the HBO special, and I believe, like, don't get me wrong, I want to say like 96, somewhere around there, and that Cinderella season, and she was crazy, man. She had trash cans in 4 corners. She's running them because they went out or missed curfew or something. She's like, all right. Y'all think y'all run this basically.
Y'all think it's a game? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this ain't play. And she ran them until all those trash cans were thrown up in.
Wow. Not to the end of practice, but to everybody got their little trash cans.
Man, I'd have been running to all the corners. Let me help you. Like,
let me just come on, get this up.
Yeah, no, but what I saw was a coach that said, listen, I'm serious about this, and y'all need to get serious about this if we're going to turn this thing around. Right. And the players invested into it. They bought into it. Did it suck? Yeah, they were complaining, and you could see it in their face. Yeah. But they also won a national championship at the end of that. Mm-hmm. So, a season that could have been a terrible season, for Lady Vol and Coach Summitt in those days, turned out to be a victorious season. So there was a lot of lessons that I grasped on even at an early age when it came to being a top competitor. Mm-hmm. And I saw that she had that, and I never let go. And even when I started to watch UConn and see like who they were and how they play in other colleges and stuff, I still I had that tunnel vision for Coach Summitt and the Lady Vols.
Can you? It's gonna be hard. Describe Coach Pat Summitt in one word.
One? What? Are you crazy?
I know I'm crazy.
Man,
crazy probably no.
Superwoman.
Yes, love it.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you elaborate.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm elaborating, guys. I do apologize. I told Coach E before this. I'm moving, as I just told y'all, and I got people like coming, getting stuff ready, and all over the place.
Let me get that couch. Let me get that dumbbell though.
Yeah, man. Everything's got to go. We moving and downsizing a little bit, but so Coach Summitt. The reason I say Superwoman is that's truly what she was. She was able to be a coach, a mother figure, a mentor. She was able to be all of those things while being a living example of how to carry yourself and how to compete and how to forgive and how to teach. So many lessons came with just her presence, right? So imagine the books and the articles that you're reading that people are writing, and being able to listen to her and hear these things, but also see it on an everyday basis for 4+ years or 3+ years, however long the athlete stayed there. So to see her do that while being a mother herself, raising a young man, a little boy, and then teenage years, and then next thing you know, he's being recruited for cop. Man, it was just amazing to see the balance of all of that.
Yeah.
And to see how humble she was, and she was always so loving and gracious to other people. She spoke to everyone. So I mean, it was just so many life lessons just in her presence alone.
That's awesome. Let's talk confidence. Were there any times in even maybe high school or college career where your confidence was shaken and you had to go through some obstacles, go through some things to get through that, to get stronger on the other side? Any adversities that you remember that were tough to get through, but you got through them? Injuries or anything?
Yeah, of course. In high school, I didn't lack any confidence in high school. I'm gonna just be honest. None. In college, yes, there were times. I mean, you're coming in, so what? I'm an All-American. Also, every single freshman that I came in with were McDonald's All-Americans.
Right.
So we were all five of us were there. But guess what? We're walking into where you have sophomores, juniors, seniors who are, who also did this, or are All-Americans now at a high level. So I'm not starting off bat, not used to that, right? Killing, playing in practice, but also making freshman mistakes, right? And having to learn how to play the game at that level, right? And in that system. So at times there was frustration and, am I really cut out for this? Does she really need me? Like, do I really want to be here? All those thoughts. Like I tell everybody, if you play in college and you ain't think about transferring at least once, that coach wasn't challenging you.
Yeah.
At least once, because at that age, you're talking about 17, 18 to 22-year-old kids who think they're grown, whose minds haven't matured, neither have their game, right? Thinking they know it all. And the bottom line is you don't. So when you get challenged with what you don't know, your first instinct is to smell that. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it makes you think. You don't need what? You don't need your dream. You don't need what you said you wanted. You don't need what you committed to. What don't you need?
Now it's a little hard. It's a little
yeah. You see what I was saying? So yeah, I was challenged with that. But the way I broke through is I'm here for a reason. She recruited me for a reason. And bottom line is when I'm watching people play, I'm always like kind of critiquing their game because I was a defensive dog. You hear me? So I'm looking at how can I disrupt you offensively? I'm not worried about when you guard me. I'm gonna have fun out there. Like I really did offensively. I just want to have fun and I wanted to create for others more than myself. So that was the fun part of being on offense. On defense, I want to guard the best player and I want to frustrate them mentally. I want to disrupt their game and their game plan, right? And I want to make sure that they know that I meant to do this. So I was that rambunctious, energetic, smack talking, clapping, player because that's what it requires sometimes, and everybody doesn't have it outright. So their physical nature, they're not a vocal leader, but you watch how they play and they still got that dog in them and they still carry themselves a certain way. So there's ways to do that. And I've just started to do it first by example. And then when I got that respect from coach and the vets, my mouth was like this. And it was over from there. Like my confidence was right back where it needed to be for me to play at that level.
Talk about the conditioning you as a person had to be in to play defense on the, I want the challenge of the best person on that every team, right? The best person, the other best person on the team, whoever was hot, like you trying to lock them down every time in practice. Talk about the conditioning. Was there ever a moment you was out of shape and you were like, oh no, I got to get back? Or were you? Yeah.
So what's funny is my senior year, I thought I was so out of shape. Like I'm that kid that will wake up and run 3, 4, 5 miles just because I play soccer. So I enjoyed the long stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm winded. Like this is mile 1.5, and I'm winded, type thing. Or I go to run the hills, and I'm like, man, I'm on my third time up and down, and I'm tired. Like, I'm normally busting 7 to 10 of these, right? So turned out I had asthma, and also a hole in my heart.
Dang.
So yeah. And so that, just not getting that proper airflow and all that good stuff, ended up when I got to college, they did all the little tests. I had a heart catheterization done to measure like the size of the hole in my heart.
Okay.
And it was below what would be required for surgery. So
that was senior year of college?
Senior year of high school, freshman year of college.
High school, so going into college.
Yeah, like summer school basically.
You found that out. How did that feel? Like emotionally, how did that feel? Because I know some people who have had different things happen with health. And they're athletes, and there's some kids that are gonna watch this, and I want to be able to help them, through your story. How did you get through that? How did it feel?
Prayer. My parents, and coach and the athletic trainer. I mean, everybody that was on that Lady Ball basketball staff, including my teammates, just, hey, you need to get healthy, make sure you get it checked out. This is basically just, an overview of what we're dealing with. And I really wasn't scared. I'm just like, whatever has to happen, whatever it is, like, how long am I out? When can I get back on the court? That was really all I cared about then. I wasn't thinking anything could really be serious, because why would it be? I don't know. Just as much as I train, I mean, I was eating pretty terrible at that time, but didn't know it. Eating all the slow food and fast food and all of that.
All them Cheetos and Doritos, the blue kind. Come on.
Yeah. Doing all of that. But that was, once everything was okay and the asthma, I got the inhaler, I felt like I was back to myself, and I can run for days. So the type of condition that I was in was, whatever we're going to do, I'm going to outrun you. We're going to outlast you. And I'm going to try to beat you every single sprint, every single lap, every single everything. Because if not, you might take my spot.
Absolutely.
The coach might recruit somebody in my spot because she's not getting everything out that she thought she would.
Right.
So that's how I trained. But let some of my coaches and the strength and conditioning coach tell you, I didn't take it serious. I was just blessed to be one of those kids that could run for days, and then be okay. Like, take time off and still be okay. Like, I didn't do the condition. Okay, kids, listen, when I tell this story, this is my story. I do not advise this at all. Okay, but this is a real life example. All right. So every summer, I don't know if y'all got them. Y'all probably did. I feel like most Division I schools do. The summer workouts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you got your conditioning, you got your weights in there, you got alternatives if you're injured to do this, blah, blah, blah. Right. Man, I ain't never do any of that conditioning stuff. I lift like crazy, though. Like, that was my thing. I love being in the weight room. And I just played a lot of pickup with guys.
Okay.
So I'd come back in pretty much game shape, because that's all I did was play and lift and work out like all summer, right? And Pat, boy, she got my tail one time for not doing the workout, and I came in killing sprints. She ain't never say nothing to me. That was my sophomore year. She left me alone after that. Just run for days.
Yeah. And you also have a mindset. Like, your mindset sounds totally different than the usual. Even if you, like you said, you took days off, you ain't do maybe what they wanted you to do, but you were still playing and doing stuff. But you have a mindset, and I can see it's a natural competitive switch that you can flip on. And most athletes, most kids do not have that. It's competitive, it's the passion, it's the heart, it's the mindset. You just a dog about it. Like like I can be 10 pounds over, you still ain't gonna beat me, and I'm gonna throw it afterwards. You're not gonna beat me. I feel like that's you.
That is me, man. Listen, you have to carry me off that court in order for me not to compete. I don't care if it's practice, a strength and conditioning workout, speed workout, a game. I'm everything, like, balls to the wall.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 110.
Take us, all right, man. Take us through the end of senior year. We get into the draft. We finna go WNBA on us, or what's the next step, right? How did the draft go? How'd you get into the next phase?
Well, senior year, competing for Final Four. So obviously you're still playing. At that time, they didn't really give you time to transition from college to the
Yeah.
pro. Uh,
What up, Shell? That's my homie from Xavier. We played in Sweden together.
she said,
You probably played against her.
I probably did. Hey, listen,
Yeah,
I wasn't damn near dunking at AAU. I threw down a couple
You
of
did? Dang.
yeah, man.
How tall are you, Lex?
I'm 5'10".
Yeah, them hops, them bunnies.
I did, yeah, but my knees done. You hear me?
Right. Look, I just shoot. I'm in the corner now. I ain't going nowhere.
Yo, I got you spot up.
I got the little jab.
Yeah, that's it. Oh shoot. But yeah, so we didn't really have time to transition like they do now. Like the draft was right the next day after the championship game in 2008. Yeah. So right after that, we go into the draft. So in my head, of course, we're at the Final Four, but I'm also trying to wrap my head around that after the Final Four, after this last game is played, I'm no longer a collegiate athlete. I'm now a pro athlete. There's like zero time to take that in.
Wow.
For me, it takes me a second to process things. I like to really consider all factors and see what angles and everything. And then I'm like overanalyzing probably. And then I'm like, oh, that happened. Like, so that took a while. Yeah. But it happened so quick. Like I didn't meet my agent face to face until the draft. It was kind of like Tasha Humphries knew him, Josh Smith. He was Josh Smith's agent in the NBA. And that's how we did it. Like, okay, Hump, I trust you. So yeah, make it happen.
Yep.
Pretty much. Right. So did that. And my mom, my dad, my brother, cousins are there. My sister was at the draft. And you know, they doing the countdown and they get to 4 and call my name. And I was just had my Kool-Aid smile on, man. Just smiling from ear to ear. My mom and pops, they had a bigger smile than I did. And it was quick because I'm still a student. I'm just no longer a student athlete for Tennessee.
Right.
Because the athlete part has ended. Right. And now I'm thrown into finishing, graduating, papers, finals coming up, all that stuff. And then while having to fly back and forth to Detroit for different stuff. Because when you're drafted like in the top 5 or the top round or something like that, you have a lot of promo stuff to do with the team. So yeah, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot, and I really didn't take it all in until probably like 5-6 years later, to be honest.
Wow, because it was just once you get playing, it's just boom, boom, boom. You go from WNBA to overseas.
Repetitive cycle, and it's really like not a real downtime. And when you do that, you're just trying to get away from everything, see your family, see your friends, have your me time. And then right back to the grind. So yeah,
always it's a tough grind that women's basketball players we got to do. You play WNBA, you got your 3 or 4 months here in the States, and after that is getting ready to go get the bread overseas. For a long time, and it's just it's tough because I imagine me I'm barely playing the 6-8 months that's overseas. I need my 3 months in the summer. I don't know how y'all did it.
Listen. After that 6 years in the WNBA, and I did that first like half season, one time I went back and did a full season after that.
Yeah.
Everything was either give me a half season, send me to Dubai for this 4 months. Like, I'm not playing all that. And I wasn't even playing in the league. I just was like, I need time off.
Yeah, I got you. So you drafted to Detroit Shock, right?
Yep.
And then, run us through. I know you got to go. Run us through your other teams that you played for as far as WNBA.
Detroit got sold to Tulsa. So that's where Tulsa came into play for those few years. I wasn't the happiest there with the coaching situation, and went to Minnesota. Minnesota actually won a championship there in 2011. That was the Minnesota Lynx first franchise championship. So that's my second championship.
That's your second. Okay. Who was your first with?
Detroit. I won.
Shoot. I forgot. With Nolan, who you play with? Nolan and
Oh yeah, it was Tweet. So that's Deanna Nolan, Katie Smith, Cheryl Ford.
I remember that Detroit was hot.
Yeah, man. We
Detroit,
Kara Braxton. Planette Pearson.
Okay.
Hey, we was tough.
Yeah, y'all was tight. I remember.
We were tough.
So you had Detroit, and then the Lynx. You got that's your second one, 2011.
Yeah, that was Maya Moore, Simone. Who was our bigs down there? Oh, Brunson, Lindsay Whalen. Shoot, I don't even remember all of our bigs back then. Monica, I remember Monica was there. But yeah, that was fun, and that was with Coach Cheryl Reeves, who was my assistant when I was in Detroit. She was an assistant coach for the Detroit Shot when I was there. So yeah, I was excited to get back and play under her and be around someone just as highly competitive.
Cool. All right. So after Minnesota, how long were you there?
I was just there for about a season and a half. I wasn't there that long. And then from there, Phoenix is where I finished my career at.
Phoenix, okay.
Yeah.
And played at Phoenix for how long? Was that
two
seasons? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so 6 years. 6 years championships. I walk away happy.
Dang, that's awesome. So you playing now at Phoenix? You playing with I know Tarasi was there. I don't know who else was there.
Penny Taylor, Tarasi, Candace Dupree, DeWanna Bonner, Brittany Griner, Lynetta Kaiser.
Every team so stacked though. It's just like, dang.
Yeah, we were tough. I mean, we didn't win that those years at Phoenix, but had some great runs with those. I mean, we was getting it in.
Yep. Overseas, so where should you play overseas real quick? I know you got to go. Well, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
More questions.
Overseas, I was in the teams that I were contracted to: Turkey, Puerto Rico, Dubai, Poland, Finland, Jordan. I think that was it. But I've been to other countries by playing, when you're playing with those other teams and you on the Euro Cup or EuroLeague circuit.
Exactly, yeah.
So I've been Russia, Spain.
Been everywhere.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place outside the United States?
Israel. I forgot about that. Israel?
Oh, yeah.
And Israel.
I wanted to get to Israel. It was too much fun going on. I'm like, dang, can I get over there?
Yeah, Israel is.
Can I get over there for a month contract or something?
Mini America. Israel's mini America.
I
mean, good food, good people. You surrounded by the beaches, the waters, like beautiful.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Can you pick a place that you favorite place that you played or even just traveled to while being overseas?
Dubai.
Dubai
for sure. Living there for 4 months. That was pretty dope.
Pretty dope.
Very beautiful, hot, but very beautiful. And where I stayed at was Sharjah, so it was like 15 minutes outside of Dubai. And you can definitely tell night and day from actually being in Dubai, where it's more tourist centered, versus being in the more cultured, city or subdivision. But it was pretty cool. I mean, they looked at me like I was crazy wearing shorts, First they think like, what is this little black boy doing? And then it's like, oh, this is shorts. Oh my gosh, she's showing her arm.
Man, that's awesome. Okay, Dubai is definitely on my top 5 to get to once we can get out the country.
Do it.
Once they let some Americans over there.
Yeah, they don't play. No,
they're not playing. Nobody playing with us. Last question. Can you what kind of advice would you leave some college players, even high school college players that are aspiring just to get to the next level right now, with all the distractions that they have? What can you tell them? What would you tell them?
Focus on your dreams. Focus on that moment when you first said, that's the school I want to play for, and this is why. Mm-hmm. That's the coach I want to play for, and this is why. This is the level I want to get to, and this is why. So focus on your why. You're always striving, as humans, that's what we're striving to level up, right? Constantly.
Yeah.
And you're able to do that by whatever you put your energy and focus into. So really focus on your why and put your energy into whatever it takes for you to complete that and get there and reach that goal, or at least get as close to it as you possibly can because you gave maximum effort.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you fall short of your dream, or your goal, it might not be that it's not meant to be. It just might manifest in a different way entirely.
Right.
So don't give up. Don't quit. Stay committed. Go look up the word committed. Stay committed. Hold yourself accountable. Read, pray, study. Whatever it is that you do, you have to do that not just because you're a student in school, but be a student of life, be a student of the game. Personal development. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially during this pandemic, especially mentally. And, you know, make sure you talk to people, friends, family. You want to keep that positive energy and people that are going to push you, you know, because some friends will tell you, you don't need to go work out right now. You're already good. You don't need to, you know, you're going to start. So why you, no, those people, dead them quick. Okay. And stay with those people that are like, oh yeah, you need me to take you to the workout. You want me to work out with you. You want me to rebound for you. Start surrounding yourself with people that's going to uplift you and help you get to where you're trying to get to.
Awesome. Well, Coach Buck, stay on. Everybody else, appreciate you tuning in. This is a wrap. We got to go. She got to go.
Yeah, I got to go. Yeah, bye, y'all.